This is Hino's Sport, bringing you that heat and that fire. All right, y'all. Time to get to it, man. We got to talk about it. This is Errol the True Spence is going to bulldoze Shawn Constipated Porter Part 16. Here's the truth of the fact of the matter. I'm about to get into Danny Garcia's ass because this dude right here, him and his dad, man, they are delirious. Let me say that again. Him and his dad are delirious. First and foremost, Danny Garcia, onto your ass. How you gonna sit here and say the Shawn Constipated Porter versus the Errol the True Spence fight is going to be rugged, rough and rugged? Those are his words. Rough and rugged and an ugly fight. And basically both fighters are rough and rugged. Okay. So what you're telling me is that you have not done film study. What you're telling me is that you have not been really paying attention to Errol Spence's fight. You were right there in the Mikey Garcia fight when Mikey Garcia got white glove. So that's rough and rugged right there. That's not using boxing skills. That's not what we call hit and not getting hit. Because in that fight, he showed you a display of boxing ability. He showed you that he has pedigree. He shows you that he has boxing IQ. But yet you sit here and say that the fight is going to be rough and rugged and it's going to be an ugly fight. The only person that's going to make this fight rough and rugged and ugly is Shawn Constipated Porter, because he has no boxing ability. So not only did you say that, you turned around and had the nerve to restate that the fight is going to be 50-50. Are you serious? What are you watching, dude? How is this a 50-50 fight? Really? How is a first tier welterweight versus a second tier welterweight a 50-50 fight? Where did they do that at, man? Higgity fucking hush, man. Where they get that nonsense at? 50-50 fucking fight. What are you watching, dude? Oh, Errol the True Spence, he's overrated. He's not all that. You know what I'm hearing from you? I'm hearing nothing but jealousy coming out of your bones. I'm hearing nothing but envy coming out of your bones. I'm hearing nothing but basically double back minded talk that's coming out of your bone. Now, you say one thing, right? And then not only that, you basically put yourself out there because you turned around and said, oh, I can't make 140. I can't be making 147 too much longer. So eventually I'm gonna have to move up to 154 because I have unfinished business at 147. What unfinished business that you have? The fact that you prove that you can't win step-up fights. You fought against Keith one-time Thurman. You lost that fight. You fought against Shawn Constipated Porter, and you barely showed that you could win that fight. Now it's a toss-up. I'll give you that, because that fight could go either way. I've said that either you won or Shawn Constipated Porter won. But see, this is what I'm talking about. If you had a tough fight with Shawn Constipated Porter, you are the last person to be sitting here and talking to us about this fight is going to be a 50-50 fight. You want it to be 50-50. Let's keep it a buck here, because you know you went 50-50 with Shawn Constipated Porter. Let me say that again. Let me rewind that, because I need that to marinate in the corpus callosum and the cerebellum. You guys have to understand how Danny Cherry Picking Garcia works. When he has a certain performance against an opponent, it's the Garcias. They all work like that. Mikey Garcia, aka Human Pinata, aka Beat My Face and Dude. He operates the same way. When they have a certain performance against somebody, they want the next fighter to have that similar performance, or they try to talk them down. It is what it is. I'm already on to your ass. But you want it to be a 50-50 fight because you had a 50-50 fight. Listen, man, it's not Errol Spence's fault that he's leagues and shoulders above your ass. You are a cherry picker for a reason. There's an argument that you lost to Mauricio Herrera. That's right, I'm coming for your neck today, dog. There's an argument that you lost against Lamont Peterson. The only fights that you had that are credible on your resume is Lucas Matiste, when he used to be a KO artist, right? A KO specialist. But he was awkward as hell, and he had no boxing ability. So that's why you were able to beat him up, because you had more skills than him. And Amir Glass Chin Khan, which we know his chin is suspect as fuck. But if those are the two best wins of your boxing resume, what does that say about your boxing resume? But folks want to sit here and tell me that Danny Garcia has an accomplished resume. At 147? Isn't he at 147 right now? See, I keep debunking these guys, man. Because I keeps the foot on the what? On the necks. I keeps the foot on the what? On the necks. In this case of the Danny Cherry Picking Garcia ultra fanboys. Because we ain't got time for the ultra fanboy rhetoric up in here. Remember, we take that thing and kick that thing out the water, man. This dude has a suspect as fuck resume. but he got the nerve to get slide to the mouth. You've proven yourself at the highest levels. When you are doing step-up fights, you don't deliver. That's why you and Shawn Constipated Porter are in the same boat, because you guys don't deliver in step-up fights. But yeah, you got the nerve to talk about Errol the Truth Spence, who fought a welterweight, mind you, and Special K Brook, that all you motherfuckers was ducking. You was ducking that work. Keith Thurman was ducking that work. Once he beat ShawnPorter the way he did in emphatic fashion and made ShawnPorter went and cry to his fucking daddy, because that's what he did, then you guys sat there and didn't want that work. But who did it take? The real and true boogeyman and Errol the Truth Spence to go in there and break the man's soul, break the man's spirit, and basically mangle, punish, and stop his ass and put his ass in bended knee fashion via 11th round TKO stoppage. But you guys want to sit here and run your damn mouths. Listen, man, your dad basically spoke against you. Now, I'm going to get on Angel Dust Garcia. That's right, folks. That's his new name. I keeps the foot on the what? On the necks. I keeps the foot on the what? On the necks. In this case of the Danny Garcia and the Angel Garcia, the Garcia Connection family Garcia's ultra fanboy rhetoric. Now, your dad contradicted you because your dad said that ShawnPorter ain't shit. The same guy he was interviewing, mind you, he said ShawnPorter ain't shit, right? Then he turned around and said that Spence should beat him, but he said it fast. He didn't hesitate. He didn't say nothing. So which one is it? Are you saying it's a 50-50 fight? It's rough and rugged, but your dad turns around and says that Spence beats him emphatically and in quick fashion? Come on, man. Even the Garcias can't make up their mind. Oh, you know what it is? I think you're mad that your dad called your ass out. See, people didn't catch that. But let me rewind and make y'all remember this, because this one has to stick in the corpus callosum and in the cerebellum. He called out his son. He said his son, if his son was conditioned properly, he would have beaten Keith One-Time Thurman and Shawn Constipated Porter in that fight, right? In any one of those fights. But then people forget his dad was in another interview, and the dad was talking about how fighters, when they get to a certain level, they stop doing the same things that they used to. They stop training a certain way, and they start telling their trainers, well, I ain't gonna do this shit. I ain't gonna do that shit. You do that fucking shit. You know who he was talking about, folks? He was talking about his son. He caught himself so fast that he then had to say, oh no, not Danny Garcia. I'm telling y'all, go and watch this interview with Angel Garcia, man. How he basically called his son out. You could tell the moments of when he basically was on the angel dust and the moment when he was sober. Because in the sober moments, he told the truth. And then when he got on the angel dust moment, he told lies. I'm telling y'all, man, that interview in Fight Hub TV with Marcos, he sat there. I'm telling you, Marcos did something with that basically that camera where he did a flash screen to where Angel Dust Garcia could quickly snort up some coke, snort up some angel dust real quick, and then boom, go into the lies bullshit. Because he went from telling the truth and being sober to then having angel dust, or all of the evidence thereof of angel dust showing itself in rearing its ugly head on this dude. Because then he turned around and said, Errol the Truth Spence ain't never taken a shot to the chin. Errol the Truth Spence had never had his chin tested. So you didn't see the Lardy fight. You didn't see when Errol the Truth Spence got hit flush. And Errol the Truth Spence showed you the difference between when a fighter has a bitch moment and when a fighter has a grab your nuts moment. Let me say it again. When a fighter has a bitch moment, when they get hit in the chin, and when a fighter has grab your nuts. See, fighters that have your grab your nut moments when they get hit in the chin, they turn around and they weather the storm of that, folks. And then they say, and that moment to themselves, gird thyself up. We about to fuck this motherfucker up. What happened in the rest of that fight against Lardy? But then you have other fighters like Amir Glass Chin Khan. When they get hit in the chin, they bitch up and they fold like a fucking pretzel. Listen, man, Danny Garcia, you mad because Errol the Truth Spence called your ass out. Let's keep it a buck here. He already told you, after he mauls, punishes, and bulldozes Shawn Constipated Porter, your ass is next. He don't care that you ain't got no belt, but you a name nevertheless. And what did Errol the Truth Spence say? I'm gonna reign over all these fuckers at 147. He's cleaning out the division, man. And he's gonna fold your ass up like a damn lawn chair. Let me say that again. He's gonna fold your ass up like a fucking lawn chair. Because that's what's gonna happen when he fights your ass. You can get it. You can ask for that free smoke. But you sitting there running your mouth every time this guy has a fight. But then when this guy doesn't have a fight, you sitting there being quiet and going into the hole like the mouse that you are, man. This is the stuff that gets me with these Garcias, man. They make me laugh, dog. But I keeps the foot on the what? On the necks. I keeps the foot on the what? On the necks. And in this case, of these freaking Garcia family affair nonsense. Because like I said, boxers and trainers alike and ex-boxers can be what? Ultra fanboys. This is He Knows the Sport. Check it out.